The Enchanted Princess is one of the newest ships in the Princess fleet. She is a Royal Class ship and entered service in September 2021. In this video I will tour the ship deck by deck, showing you the open areas, complimentary restaurants, bars and specialty dining. And the best place to start any ship tour is obviously in the hot tub. This is Deck 18 Sky, the first of the public open decks. This is part of the retreat area at the forward part of the ship. It is a free-to-use, adult-only area. There are plenty of lounges and cabanas on a first-come, first-served basis, along with a pair of hot tubs and showers. This is where you'll find the access to the sanctuary. And below is the retreat pool, which I'll show you a little later on. The sanctuary is a private, adult-only area which offers an idyllic space to relax away from the hustle and bustle of the rest of the ship. There is an additional charge of $40 for a full day's access or $20 for a half day. If you would like to visit the sanctuary, I recommend either pre-booking or doing so on your first day on board the ship. Be aware that space is limited and it's very popular, especially on sea days. And for those wishing to splash out, cabanas can also be hired. There is also this great hot tub, which has fantastic views at the very front of the ship. Afternoon tea is also served with a selection of small sandwiches, rolls, cakes and fruit. And now heading towards the middle of the ship for the view of the all-important sail away party, which was a fun way to get everybody in the mood for the start of their cruise. At a quieter time, you can see that this deck has lots of space for sun loungers and also has 2 hot tubs either side. The kids club and gym are also on this level towards the rear of the ship. One thing I do think that's missing is a bar up here. You either have to drop down a deck or order using the Medallion app. I will explain more about this later on. As you can see, there is also a massive screen and plenty of loungers too. And I'm pleased to report that there wasn't a scrum for the loungers like on some other cruise ships I've been on. I really wish that I was still on board looking at this fantastic view. At the forward area of the ship was the lower level retreat. This pool was a perfect place to hang out and relax, and the whole area had a real chilled out vibe. The retreat bar was also a great place to grab a cocktail and just relax. The bar here closes at 6 PM, so if you're staying in a cabin nearby, you won't have to worry about any noise. We actually stayed here and loved the location as the pool was so close. I could literally go from my cabin into the pool within 2 minutes. And this was the view from the corridor outside of our cabin. This was our balcony cabin, S219. I will leave a link to the full tour here. But just to mention that the balcony itself is the largest of this type on board, another great reason to stay here. We are now on deck 16 Lido, and the main outdoor area on board the ship. There are plenty of choices on where to sit here. To the left is the Salty Dog Grill, the mixed bar and Slice, the place for pizza. Along with 2 pools, there are 3 hot tubs and 2 huge seating areas. If you want a lively experience during the day, then this is the place to be, with music and entertainment on a huge screen. And this is the Sea View Bar, another popular place to hang out during the day. And more comfortable outdoor seating is available here. As you can imagine, it's a very popular spot. Of an evening, the loungers have an additional padding and blankets available if needed for movies under the stars. There is even free popcorn for that cinematic experience. The World Fresh Market places the buffet on board, and we ate here occasionally for breakfast. There was a usual selection of eggs, bacon, sausage, hash browns, fried bread and beans, which was all fairly standard cruise fare. Plus there was also deli meats, salmon, croissants and jams with a wide variety of fresh fruit. Which were perfect for those seeking a lighter breakfast. And there's also a great selection of cereal if that's your preference. At the aft of Deck 16 is the Wakeview Pool and Bar. This was a great place just to sit and watch the world drift by while having a drink. Being sat in the infinity pool was absolutely perfect. And there is also some additional seating upstairs. If you're enjoying this video, maybe consider subscribing. I have lots more cruising content on my channel and more to come. Decks 15 down to 8 are all cabin decks. However, they all have a laundry, which can be very useful, especially on longer cruises. Each has 4 tubs, which are paid for using the Medallion app. Each load costs $3 and the detergent is $1.50, but of course you can always bring your own. There is also an iron and ironing board, especially useful for pressing clothes for formal evenings. We now head inside the ship and into Deck 7, Promenade. This atrium is so beautiful, and for me sets this ship apart from others that I've been on. It's just this elegance that I really adore. The first bar here is Bellini's, where you can get a specialty cocktail, champagne or sparkling wine. These are the shops of Princess. They offer a wide variety of goods. Designer clothes, perfume, makeup, jewellery and watches, there's lots to choose from. Although do note the shops only open when you're at sea. Gigi's is the complimentary pizza restaurant on board, and to be honest, the best pizza I've had at sea. On older Princess ships, it's called Alfredo's, but the menu is very similar. And now it's time to check out that all-important menu. Feel free to pause the video so you can take a longer look. I went for the speciality Princess Pizza this time, and it was so delicious. And if you would prefer, you can also eat al fresco. Heading back inside, and the first of the specialty dining options. This is the French restaurant Bistro sur la Mer. The menu is from 3 Michelin star chef Emmanuel Renaud, and also offers specialty dining as before. We didn't eat in here this time, but we'll definitely do so the next time we're on board the ship. This area is called Oceanfront, and it's pretty much your Medallion app help desk. As I previously mentioned, the Princess Medallion is their onboard high-tech device which makes cruising so easy. You'll receive an actual circular medallion which acts like your cruise card, so you can make purchases, order food and drinks for delivery wherever you are on board the ship. And in my experience, the Medallion app works really well. The occasional drink takes a bit of time, but apart from that, it's fine. But I've heard of others who had absolute nightmares with it. Here you can purchase a variety of accessories for the Medallion, such as bracelets, necklaces and other wearables. You can also buy other merchandise here too. The Princess Live Cafe was a great place to grab a drink before settling down in Princess Live itself. This was one of my favourite places on board, as there was so much happening here. From talks and game shows to karaoke, it was an ideal location to hang out during the evenings and have a really fun time. This is the Crown Grill and Bar. The bar is a great place to grab a drink before a show in the Vista Lounge, which is just down the hallway. The Crown Grill itself is the signature steakhouse on board and is therefore a specialty restaurant. The cover charge is $29 per person, with an additional $10 if you'd like to have an additional main course. I decided to go for the French onion soup and the surf and turf. And the food here, of course, was absolutely delicious. Our waiter even separated the lobster from the shell for us.
The tail should be facing us like this. Be careful, yeah. And then we cut the shell and the bottom one like this. And then we do like this. And then we pull slowly and we cut. Here we go. Very easy. Excellent, Galina.
At the aft of the ship is the Vista Lounge, which during the evenings has a variety of comedians, singers and other live entertainment. It then becomes a nightclub going into the wee hours of the morning. And it was very late when I recorded this. I think we were the last ones in there. Descending down the stairs to Deck 6, Fiesta, and into the Princess Casino. There are plenty of slot machines and table games for those who wish to tempt the hand of fate. I'm not a huge gambler, so this was just a little bit of fun. And it's always nice to leave the casino up a few dollars. For the smokers, there is Churchill Smoking Lounge, where you can go and light up and purchase cigars and cigarettes. And now we head into the beautiful Princess Theatre. The main show was rock opera, and as the name suggests, is a Broadway-style show set with a rock music theme. I really enjoyed it. But unfortunately, I'm not allowed to film in there. The other main show was called Five Skies, a virtual reality game come to life. It was absolutely bonkers. The story was pretty weird, but it was a fun show regardless, and the music was good. Our cruise became a Comedy Stars themed cruise after we had booked. These comedians were an addition to all the original entertainment that was already on board, which is different to a proper themed cruise where all the entertainment is removed. So everything on board is based around that theme. Next on Deck 6 was the confusingly named Take 5. This is a jazz lounge which had live music each evening and is known for its speciality gin cocktails. Nice. This is the Ocean Terrace Sushi Bar, which serves premium seafood rolls and sashimi at an a la carte price. Now heading past more shops towards the photo and video gallery and then past the fine art gallery. Here you can purchase photographs that have been taken on board the ship as a nice souvenir or memory of your stay. And there's plenty of choice in the art gallery for those who wish to make a more considered purchase, shall we say? It's all a little bit too highbrow for me. But I did enjoy having a look around and just seeing what was available. You ever bought any art on board a ship? Please let me know in the comments below. This is more like it. This is the Capri dining room. There are 3 main dining rooms on board the ship, 2 of which are on this deck. The other one is the Amalfi dining room. And it doesn't matter which one you go to, they all serve the same menu. The food in the main dining rooms is complimentary, and the menu changes each evening. Although there is a choice of princess favourites, which are available every night. I felt that the food and the service in here were excellent, which is why we really went to the buffet. I really like the elegant decor of the main dining rooms. I'm now going to show some of the menus and what I chose to have each evening. And while you could have 4 courses, most nights I only went for 2. Again, you can pause the menu if you'd like to see more, and in this evening I had linguine and clams, followed by southern fried chicken. This time I decided to go for a 3-course meal. This time I went for the penne con cosy, the pork chop with a creme brulee for dessert. On gala night I had the broiled lobster tail and the chocolate pistachio dome. Both are highly recommended. On C days, there is lunch served in the main dining rooms. Although as you can see, it wasn't particularly busy. Here I tried the pea soup, followed by the carbonara rigatoni and the chicken korma. And after all that food, it was time to head past the future cruise planning area and over to Crooner's Bar. I spent many a lovely afternoon sat here on a sea day just chilling out. And by the second day of my cruise, the barman already knew what I'll be drinking. And that's just the type of service that you get on Princess Cruise Line. And now we head down to Deck 5, Plaza. This is where you aboard the ship, so it'll be the first thing that you see. This is the Piazza, which has a selection of shops, bars and restaurants. Just ahead is the Internet Cafe and the Santorini main dining room, which unfortunately wasn't open during our trip. Celebrations is a small shop where you can purchase your duty-free alcohol and tobacco products. Usually these are delivered to your cabin on the final evening. You can also pick up various medicines and first aid items here that you may need. And adjacent to the shop is gelato, where you can purchase a variety of flavours or even mix them up for a small charge. Which flavours are your favourites? I definitely went for the pistachio and the chocolate chip. And this is the main hub of the piazza. There is a very relaxed atmosphere here where guests can sit down with family and friends and enjoy the purchases they have made while listening to some gentle music. The Salty Dog Gastropub is a specialty dining option. For $18 each, you receive 2 small plates of pub classics such as burgers, sandwiches, ribs and a dessert too. This is definitely somewhere where I will try next time. And it also had a good selection of craft beers. The International Cafe is open 24 hours a day for a delicious selection of light bites, cakes, pastries and drinks. The selection here is absolutely amazing. And it's a great place to have a pit stop on the way back to your cabin after a night out on the tiles. I even found the belle of the ship. Sabatini's is the specialty Italian trattoria on board and was somewhere where I'd wanted to visit for quite some time. The cover charge here is $25 per person and it's well worth the money for this 5-course meal. Of all the places we ate on board the ship, I think this had the best atmosphere and the best food. I decided to have the deep fried calamari to start, followed by spaghetti pomodoro. And for my main course I had the incredible Mediterranean seafood parcel, which was full of grouper, shrimp, scallops, mussels and clams. And finally I had the selection of mini desserts which were all delicious and very, very rich. And just outside is guest services and the shore excursion desk. And if you want to book an excursion, make sure you do early on. And lastly on this deck is the Lotus Spa and Salon, if you'd like to have some extra special pampering. It sure looks like there's some discounts on port day. And very late at night, you may find yourself lucky enough to have some very talented kids who can entertain you long after the crew are all in bed. Many thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing.